Liam was not supposed to be here. His mission was to scan the far side of planet Charon 6 and return to the ship. But the storm came too fast. His pod crashed in the middle of black rock fields and strange glowing trees. He survived, but his radio was broken and his ship was out of range. He walked for hours, maybe more. Then he saw the ruins, tall stone towers, cracked and burned, with symbols carved into them. No plants grew near the stones, and no animals made a sound. It was too quiet. Liam stepped inside the nearest tower. Dust floated in the air, and the floor was covered with broken tiles. He touched a wall and felt heat, like the stone was alive. There were words carved into the stone, but not in any language he had learned. Still, something pulled at his mind. One symbol caught his eye. It looked like a spiral mixed with a flame. He stared at it, then whispered the word it made in his head. "Varesh," he said. Suddenly, a voice gasped behind him. He turned, shocked. A girl stood there, half hidden in the shadows. Her skin was pale blue, and her eyes glowed like silver moons. She wore a cloak made of strange fabric, and she looked afraid. You speak the dead language of our ancestors?" she said. Her voice was shaking, full of disbelief and wonder. Liam blinked. "I don't know what I said," he replied. "I just said what I saw." The girl stepped closer, her eyes wide. "No one has spoken that word for 1,000 years, she whispered. "Only the chosen could read the ancient tongue, but they are all gone." Liam looked at the wall again. He traced another symbol, feeling the same strange pull. "What is this place?" he asked. The girl hesitated, then answered. "This was once a city of knowledge and peace, before the silence, before the war." Liam frowned. "What war?" Before she could answer, a sharp sound echoed outside. Footsteps, many of them, fast and heavy. The girl's face turned pale. "They found us," she said. She grabbed his hand. "Come, we must go." They ran through the ruined halls, past broken statues and long-dead machines. Guards in silver armor stormed in from the side tunnels, shouting in a strange language. Liam didn't understand the words, but he could feel the threat. The girl pulled him into a small chamber and shut the heavy door. Her breathing was fast, her hands shaking. "Who are they?" Liam asked. "They are the keepers of silence," she said. "They destroy anyone who speaks the old language. They believe the words are cursed." Liam felt a chill in his chest. "But why?" "Because the words carry power," she said. "Power to wake the old machines, to unlock the truth. And truth is dangerous to them." Suddenly, the wall beside them began to glow. The spiral flame symbol lit up with a soft red light. The girl gasped again. "It's reacting to you, Liam." "Step forward." Unsure, he placed his hand on the symbol. A pulse of light ran through the stone, and the wall slid open, revealing a hidden tunnel. The girl looked at him, stunned. "You are not just any human," she said. "You are something else." Liam wanted to ask more, but loud footsteps were coming closer. The tunnel was dark, but they had no choice. They ran inside, and the wall closed behind them, sealing them in silence. As they walked deeper into the unknown, Liam spoke softly. "I don't know why I can speak the language, but I need to know the truth." The girl looked at him, her eyes still full of wonder. "Then we will find it together," she said. But deep below them, something else had awakened. The word Liam had spoken echoed in ancient circuits. A machine opened its eyes for the first time in 1,000 years, and it remembered the voice. Not his voice, but a voice just like his, from the past, and it whispered back, "Varesh." The tunnel was cold and dark, but Liam kept moving. The alien girl walked beside him, her steps soft but quick. Neither of them spoke for a while. Only the sound of dripping water echoed around them. Liam's heart was still racing. He had spoken one word, and everything changed. Now he was being hunted. Not for what he had done, but for what he had said. The girl finally broke the silence. "My name is Zara," she said, her voice quiet. "I was told the dead language was lost forever. No one speaks it. No one even remembers what the words mean. Liam nodded slowly. I don't know how I knew it, he said. It just came to me. Zara looked at him with curiosity. You must have heard it somewhere. I didn't, he replied. Not in any book or file, not on Earth. It felt like the word was already in my mind. They reached the end of the tunnel. It opened into a massive underground chamber, filled with stone pillars and glowing crystals. Zara lit a small device from her belt, and a soft blue light spread across the room. Liam stared in awe. Strange symbols were carved on every surface, some of them glowing softly when he looked at them. The place felt alive, like it had been waiting for him. Zara walked to a large platform and brushed away the dust. She pointed at a broken statue. This place is from the time of echoes, she said. It's older than my people's memory. Liam stepped forward, drawn to the carvings. His eyes stopped on a large symbol, one he hadn't seen before. He whispered it, without thinking. Shareth. The ground trembled, just a little. Zara turned to him, shocked again. You must stop speaking these words without knowing what they do, she said. Each one is a command. I didn't. No, Liam said quickly. But it keeps happening. Before she could answer, a soft hum filled the chamber. Lights came on above them, like stars waking up. From the shadows, a shape moved, a machine, tall and thin, made of black metal and gold lights, stepped forward. It had no face, just a smooth surface that changed color as it moved. Liam stepped back, but the machine spoke in a calm, slow voice. Speaker of the forgotten tongue, it said, why have you returned? Zara held her breath. Liam said nothing. He didn't know how to answer. I'm not from here, he finally said. I don't know who I am to you. The machine paused, its lights flashing in a pattern. Your voice carries the key, it said. Your words open what was sealed. Zara stepped beside Liam. This is one of the silent ones, she said. They were built to guard the old knowledge. Liam nodded slowly. What do you want me to do? He asked. The machine turned and pointed to a large door in the wall. Speak the word that opens the vault, it said. You already know it. Liam stared at the door. Another symbol glowed faintly in its center. He didn't recognize it, but his mouth formed the sound anyway. Kurvan, he said. The door shook, then slowly slid open. Inside was a long hallway, full of light and strange floating stones. As they stepped inside, Liam felt something strange, a whisper in his mind. Not in English, not in any language he knew, but he understood it. Zara looked at him. Did you hear that? She asked. Liam nodded. It said, he has returned. Zara looked uneasy. My people believe the last speaker brought ruin, she said. They fear the language for that reason. Liam felt a chill. Then why am I here? Before she could answer, the silent one stepped into the light behind them. It bowed slowly. Because you were never gone. It said, you have returned, but you were always part of this world. Zara looked at Liam with fear in her eyes. Who are you really? Liam stared ahead, past the lights and floating stones. He didn't know. But something inside him did, and it was waking up. Far above the chamber, in the dark towers of the ruined city, the keepers were watching. They had seen the light, felt the pulse in the air. One of them turned to the others. The speaker has broken the silence, he said. Begin the hunt. Liam walked slowly through the glowing hallway. Each step he took made the floating stones shift and pulse with light. Zara stayed close beside him, quiet, her hand resting near the edge of her belt where a small knife was hidden. Neither of them spoke. They both felt it. Something in this place was watching them. Not with eyes, but with memory. The hallway opened into a large round chamber. Tall walls stretched high into darkness, covered in carvings. But these carvings were different from the others. They looked newer, sharper, like they had been made. Not long ago, Liam stepped toward one wall. His breath caught in his chest. A figure was carved there, standing tall among others. Its shape was human, wearing clothes not too different from Liam's own, and the face his face. Zara's eyes widened. That's you, she whispered. But this is thousands of years old. Liam shook his head. It can't be me, he said. I'm not. From here, I came from Earth. Zara stepped closer, her voice low. Then why is your face here? Before he could answer, a low hum echoed from behind the walls. A new part of the chamber opened, revealing a staircase leading down into deep shadows. Without a word, they followed it. The air grew colder as they moved lower. The walls here were smooth metal instead of stone. They reached another room, but this one was different. It was full of machines, tall, silent, covered in dust. In the center of the room was a pedestal, and on it, a small cube, glowing faintly with blue light. Liam felt something pull at him again, not his body but his mind, like the cube was calling him. He reached out slowly, and the moment his fingers touched the cube, the machines around them came to life. Lights flickered on, panels opened, and a voice spoke from nowhere. Speaker recognized. It said, "Welcome back, Commander." Liam's hand shook. "Commander?" he asked aloud. "I don't understand." Zara looked at him in shock. "That means you were one of them." "One of who?" Liam asked. Zara's voice dropped to a whisper. "The humans who came before, the ones from the stars, the ones who taught my people the language. But history says they left," she continued. "That they vanished after the Great Silence." Liam stepped back. "I don't remember any of that," he said. "I grew up in a city on Earth. I've never been here before." The cube floated into the air. It projected an image, dozens of ships flying through space, human voices giving orders, and in the middle of them, one voice gave the final command. It was Liam's voice. Zara stared at him, afraid now. "You were their leader," she said. "You gave the last command before everything ended." The projection changed, showing fire falling from the sky, cities burning, machines shutting down, then silence. "I don't remember this," Liam said. "I swear, I don't." The voice spoke again. "Memory lock detected. Would you like to restore your true identity?" Zara stepped between Liam and the cube. "Wait," she said. "If you do this, it could change everything. You may not be the same after." Liam looked at her, then at the cube. He didn't know what was real anymore, but deep down something inside him whispered, "You've been here before." He reached for the cube again. Then the chamber shook, hard. A blast echoed from above. Dust fell from the ceiling, and distant alarms began to sound. Zara turned to the stairs. "They found us," she said. "The keepers are coming." Liam held the cube tightly. He didn't know who he was, or what would happen next, but he knew one thing. He could no longer run, not from this place, not from the truth buried beneath the stone. As they escaped into another tunnel, the machines in the chamber turned slowly toward the pedestal. They began to hum a warning in the dead language. "He has returned," they said, "but so has the shadow that follows him." Asterisk. The tunnel walls shook with every step. Zara and Liam ran through the darkness, guided only by the glow of the cube in Liam's hand. The machines had spoken his name, but he still didn't know what it meant. The memory in the cube, the voice that matched his, it didn't make sense. He wasn't a commander, he wasn't a leader. He was just a human explorer who had crash-landed on a strange world. At least, that's what he had always believed. Behind them, footsteps echoed heavy, sharp, getting closer. The keepers were near, and they were no longer afraid to attack. Zara pulled Liam into a narrow side passage, pressing a hand to a hidden panel. A stone door opened with a soft hiss, and they slipped through. The room they entered was silent and vast, with a tall ceiling and smooth black walls. The door sealed shut behind them, and the sound of the keepers faded. In the center of the room stood a machine unlike any they had seen before. It was shaped like a throne, but it was built of light and metal. Floating above a small platform, as Liam stepped closer, the machine came to life. Blue lines ran across the floor, and symbols lit up around him. The air felt thick, like it was waiting for him to speak. Zara watched in silence, her face tense. She had seen places like this before, in old stories, but none had ever worked. The throne spoke, its voice calm but deep. "Identity match complete," it said, awaiting the voice of command. Liam swallowed. "What does that mean?" he asked. The machine did not reply. It simply pulsed with light. Zara stepped closer, whispering, "It wants you to speak again." Liam looked around, unsure. "I don't know what to say," he replied. But then, the cube in his hand grew warm. A symbol appeared in his mind, not a word, not a picture, just a sound, ancient and powerful. He opened his mouth, and the word came out before he could stop it. Shaitan. The lights exploded with brightness. The throne shifted and lowered to the ground, and from the walls, panels opened to reveal old machines, dormant guardians with silver bodies and glowing eyes. Zara took a step back. "You gave them a command," she said, her voice full of fear and awe. Liam looked at his hands. "I didn't mean to." The guardians stood in silence. Then one of them turned toward Liam and kneeled. The others followed, one by one, their metal bodies bending low. Zara looked around, stunned. "They obey you," she said. The throne spoke again. "Systems restored. Fleet control active. Awaiting further instructions." Liam shook his head. "I'm not giving orders," he said. "I don't even know what they do." Zara's voice was sharp. "Then don't say another word." But it was too late. The room shifted again, revealing a screen that showed the sky above the planet. Dozens of dark ships were moving toward the city, not keeper ships. These were older, larger, driven by something forgotten. "They're waking up," Zara said. "They were hidden until now." Liam's voice trembled. "Because of me." She looked at him, her eyes serious. "No," she said, "because you spoke with the voice that commands." Then without warning, the throne dimmed and spoke once more. "Unknown signal detected. Shadow frequency active. Emergency protocols engaged." The guardians around them raised their weapons and turned toward the exit. Something was coming, something that wasn't Keeper, something even the machines feared. Zara grabbed Liam's arm. "We need to go," she said. Now, as they ran through a new path opened by the machines, Liam looked back. The throne, the machines, the sky, everything was responding to his voice. But not only his, someone or something else was speaking too. A second voice, colder, darker, hidden behind the stars. And it was giving commands of its own. Far above the planet, in the shadows of space, a forgotten AI opened its eyes. Its voice was silent, its code ancient. It had waited for centuries for this signal. And now that the speaker had returned, the destroyer would rise too. The sky above the ruined city burned with strange colors. Red and purple light twisted like fire. Liam stood at the edge of the city's highest tower. Below him, the machines he had awakened hummed with power, their eyes shining like stars in the dark. Zara stood beside him, her face pale but strong. "They call you the Speaker," she said quietly, "a leader who commands the old machines." Liam shook his head. "I never asked for this," he said, "but I can't stop it now." Suddenly, a deep rumble shook the ground. The earth cracked, and great machines, taller than buildings, rose from the depths. They were the Machine Kings, ancient guardians from the time before the silence, metal giants covered in glowing runes, moving with slow but unstoppable power. People in the city ran in fear. The keepers tried to stop the machines with weapons and shields, but the machines were stronger. They ignored the attacks, their eyes fixed on Liam. "You have awakened them," said a voice through the city's loudspeakers. "The speaker returns." Zara grabbed Liam's arm. "We need to control them," she said, "or they will destroy everything." Liam looked at the largest Machine King. Its eyes were deep pools of light. He remembered the voice in the chamber, the words he spoke that gave life to these giants. He took a deep breath and spoke again, louder this time. "Peace." The largest Machine King stopped moving. Its eyes dimmed slightly. The others followed, slowing their steps. The city fell silent, waiting. But the silence did not last. From the sky, dark ships appeared, their shapes strange and twisted, covered in black armor. They were not keepers. Not machines, something older and more dangerous. "They are here," Zara whispered. The destroyers. Liam felt fear, but also something else. A strange strength rising inside him. He was no longer just a human. He was the speaker, connected to the ancient power of the machines. He raised his voice. "Hold!" The Machine King stopped again. Their eyes glowed brighter, waiting for his command. The dark ships landed with thunder. Alien soldiers poured out. Weapons ready, they surrounded the city. Their leader stepped forward. A tall figure with a mask that hid its face. "You speak the dead language," the leader said to Liam. "But you do not understand the cost." Liam met the leader's gaze. "I will protect this world," he said, "no matter the cost." Zara stood by his side. "Then we fight together," she said. The machines roared to life. The city became a battlefield, and the war for the future of the planet had begun. But deep beneath the earth, something stirred. The true secret of the dead language, and the real reason the speaker had returned, was not to save the world, but to unlock a power no one was ready for. Liam and Zara stood before the ancient gateway, its stone walls covered in symbols that pulsed with faint blue light. Beyond the gate lay the lost sanctuary, a place forgotten by time. Only those who spoke the dead language could enter. And now Liam was one of them, whether he wanted it or not. The air was thick with silence as they stepped inside. The floor beneath them was smooth, almost like glass. Strange whispers floated through the air, voices from the past. Liam felt their weight pressing on his mind, memories that were not his, but somehow he understood. A figure appeared from the shadows, tall and cloaked in silver. Her eyes glowed like stars, and her voice was soft but strong. "Welcome, speaker," she said. "You have come to face the trial of the forgotten. Only by passing can you claim the power of the ancients." Liam swallowed hard. "What trial?" he asked. Zara's hand tightened around his arm. "This is the test that chooses who leads," she whispered. "Many have tried and failed." The figure gestured, and the walls changed. They became scenes, visions of battles, lost cities, and broken promises. Liam was no longer in the chamber. He was standing in the past, watching the fall of a great civilization. A voice echoed in his mind. "Speak the words of truth, but beware the lies hidden within." Liam struggled to remember the language. The words he had spoken before came back to him. Not just sounds, but feelings, fear, hope, and sorrow mixed together. The first test was to speak the word of power, a word that could heal or destroy. Liam closed his eyes and whispered, "Ravka." The visions shifted, showing a city rising from ashes, light spreading through darkness. Zara nodded. "You are strong," she said, "but the trial is not over." Suddenly, the scene changed. Liam found himself alone in a dark room. A voice whispered lies, trying to confuse him. "You are not the speaker," it said. "You do not belong here." Liam shook his head, fighting the voices. He repeated the dead words, louder this time. "Shareth, Varish Korven." The lies faded, replaced by silence. The figure in silver appeared again. "You have passed the test of truth," she said. "But now comes the hardest part." The walls opened to a new chamber. Inside stood a shadow, dark and shifting. It moved like smoke but had eyes like fire. "This is the shadow of doubt," the figure said. "It feeds on fear and weakness. Only by facing it can you claim the power." Liam stepped forward, his heart pounding. The shadow whispered secrets about his past, his fears, his failures, his lost memories. But Liam stood tall. He spoke the words of the dead language again, words that burned like fire and healed like water. The shadow screamed and vanished. Light filled the chamber, and the silence was broken. The figure smiled. "You are ready," she said. "But beware. Speaker, not all who watch you wish you well." Outside the sanctuary, Zara looked worried. "Enemies are coming," she said, "the ones who fear the return of the dead language." Liam looked toward the sky. The war was not over. It was only just beginning. But now he was no longer just a lost human. He was the speaker, the key to an ancient power that could save or destroy worlds. The sky was heavy with dark clouds. Lightning crackled far away, lighting up the ruined city in quick flashes. Liam stood at the center of the ancient square. The people and machines gathered around him, waiting. Zara stood beside him, silent but ready. The war had grown beyond anything they imagined. The keepers fought with all their might. The machine kings stood tall, loyal to Liam's voice. But the destroyers, the shadow from the stars, were closing in fast. Liam's heart pounded. He felt the weight of the dead language on his tongue. Words that could build or break. A power that chose him to speak the future. Zara whispered, "You have the last word, Liam. Speak it carefully." The enemy marched closer, their weapons raised, their eyes burning with hate. The ground trembled beneath the feet of the machines, and the ancient ones waited, watching from their slumber. Liam looked up at the sky. Memories came rushing back, flashes of a life he never lived. A leader who once saved worlds. A voice that once united stars. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. The silence around him grew louder. All waited for the word that could change everything. His voice broke the quiet. A single word in the dead language, old and powerful, full of meaning. Shareth. The ground shook. Light burst from the earth, rising like a wave. The machine kings roared, their eyes shining like suns. The destroyers faltered, their weapons dropping. But then, a shadow moved behind Liam. Zara screamed, "No!" The dark figure lunged, trying to strike him down. Liam barely turned. His voice rose again, faster and stronger. "Varish! Corvin!" The shadow froze, then shattered like glass. The light from Liam's words spread over the city. It healed broken machines and burned away darkness. The enemy was defeated. The war was over. But Liam knew this was not the end. He had unlocked a power that could save or destroy, and the dead language was no longer silent. Zara took his hand. "We will protect it," she said. "Together," Liam smiled. For the first time, he felt at home, not just on this strange planet, but in the voice he carried, the voice of the ancestors, the voice that would shape the future. And as the sun rose over the ruined city, the people and machines looked forward to a new age, one where hope was stronger than fear, and a single word could change the fate of worlds.